Hey YouTube, welcome back to the Blades to Be channel. A little different video today. This one is just answering a question that somebody had on the Hobby Machinist forum. They're trying to design a part in Fusion 360 and got stuck with how to do that. So just going to quickly walk through that. Going to call it a Fusion flicker. So just a real short movie on how to do something in Fusion. I don't claim to be a Fusion expert. I've only been using it for about a year on and off. Really just getting into it more the last couple of months with my new CNC machine, that Tormach 1100MX. But this question I think I can answer, and I think a video is going to help the user out, may help somebody else out as well. So what we've got here is actually just making a toe clamp. So there would be a slot right here and a hole, and just trying to figure out how to put these cuts onto the end of the piece. This is where they are stuck. So we're going to go through and show you how to do that. So right now I've already got those designed. I'm going to go down here and delete those right now. So we'll delete all these pieces, and then we're going to go through and I'll show you how to quickly go through and put those pieces back on. Couple of different ways that we can do this. So I'm going to show you a couple of different options on how I think this can be done, and trying to keep one simpler, one's pretty easy, and one maybe a little bit advanced, but will definitely help you with some other pieces. So right now I have this just a rectangle designed in here. I've got it designed on the top. All right, so let's go take a look at what I would call the easy way to do this first. So in order to do this the easy way, we actually need to take the cut off the top first. So we're going to go up here to create our sketch. We're going to select this side plane, our front view, and I'm going to drop a couple of points on here. One right here on the top, one down here on the front. We're going to dimension those in place. I hit D for dimension, and I want to just go half of my depth, so 0.25, and then I want to go 1 inch back for this cut. 1 inch. I need to draw a line on here to connect these dots, and by default it's already filled in the rest of that sketch, so I can finish my sketch. I can select that point, right click, get to my press pull, and I like to tip my model so I can see what's happening, and then I can just cut all the way across. All right, so if I do that, then that works, but now if I were to go to my top plane, it's a little harder to sketch on top of this. If I were to try to do the sketch on that face, it's going to be on an angle, and it's going to want to sweep it through on the angle. So in order to get it to sweep straight across, I need to go to the bottom of my sketch. And if I go, or the bottom of my part, and then I can create a sketch on this bottom plane. Now I'm going to drop some points on here. Same thing, I'm just going to drop them in place, and we'll go dimension those in here in a moment. So again, D for dimension, and I want to come down 300 thou from each end. And we know that we want to go back 1 inch from the front to be the same as our top. And I need to go back and put my lines in place to again connect all these dots to make sure I have clear points to cut through. Finish my sketch. I'm going to select those two areas. Command to select the other one. Right click for press pull. And again, tip my model. I can see what I'm doing. And I cut through there. So now if I go back to my top, there we go. There we have our model cut. We have all three cuts are complete. Didn't have to do anything fancy. Did a sketch on the top, cut the top piece, flipped over to the bottom, did our sketches on the flat planes on the bottom, and we were done. So there's one way that we could complete this. Another way, maybe you needed to do a fourth cut. Maybe we needed to do another cut on the bottom or something, and we didn't have that flat plane. So let's take another look at a different way to do this real quick that might come in handy for future models that you're working on. So let's delete all of those. All right, so now let's go back to the top of our model, and let's create our sketch on this top side. Let's quickly drop our points, and we're going to get rid of the two edges first this time and see where that leaves us. D for dimension. Okay, so now we have our model, and now if we go look at this on the front side, I'm not able to put my sketch, again, directly on this angle. If I try to do that, then when I try to extrude or cut, it's going to go across on this angle. It's going to leave this piece across the front, or across the point. So what I need to do is I need to create an offset plane so that I can actually do my sketch out here in space and then cut across where I need to. So I'm going to go up here to Construct. I'm going to select an offset plane. I want my offset plane to be on this front face right here. So I'm going to put that there. Again, I'm going to tip my model and I'm going to pull that offset plane so that it is off my model and it's somewhere out here in space in front of my model. And I'm going to hit OK. So now I've got this offset construct plane. I'm going to open up and I'm going to make sure that that plane is visible. Sometimes when you create them, they get turned off. So that plane is visible. I'm going to leave that out here. And now I'm going to go hit create a sketch. And when it asks me to select a plane, I need to make sure I select this one out here in space. So now when I put my points on my sketch, those points are going to be out here in space. If I tip that, you can see that they're just out here in the open. They're not directly on my model face. I'm going to go back to the front. I know that that one's in the right place. That one's dimensioned already. This one I need to dimension from here, 0.25. And now when I draw my lines, since this is not on the other model, I need to make sure that my lines connect completely around here, all three of that for the triangle. Now I can hit Finish Sketch. I can select this, right-click, hit Press Pull, and now I can sweep this all the way across. And again, it's going to cut my model and get us back in the same shape we were before, except I get this little extra piece out here on the front. That happens sometimes. I can just select that. There we go. Sometimes you can just select that individual piece and hit delete, and it's smart enough to get rid of that piece. Not sure why Fusion likes to leave little leftover bits sometimes, but it does. So there we go. So that way we did an offset plane and we cut through and got rid of our piece. So there's a couple of different ways to do that. Either just making sure you do order of operations correctly to get rid of the top first, flip it over and do your other cuts from the bottom. Or if you don't have a way to do it in an order where you can get rid of all your pieces on flat surfaces, you just quickly set up an offset plane. And just for fun, let me show you what would happen if we tried to sketch this without doing that offset plane. So if I get rid of this sketch, if I get rid of our offset plane, if I went back to the front, if I did try to sketch this directly onto the side, it will select that plane. That is a flat surface. I can put a point directly on there. I can put another point down here. I can dimension this point in back to 0.25. I can draw my line to create that. Finish my sketch. I can select it right up to this point. It looks like it's going to work for us. It looks like it's working well until we tip the model and we look at where that is actually going to cut. And that is not what we wanted, because again, Fusion does everything on flat surfaces, straight lines. So we wanted that flat surface straight line to be out here. That's why we had to set up that offset plane. Hopefully that gives you some different ideas on how to go through and how to do some cuts and how to make the part. Appreciate you watching. Here's a little Fusion flicker from the Blades to Be workshop. If you have any other thoughts, problems, issues with Fusion, again, I don't claim to be an expert, but if I can put out a quick video for you to show you how to work through something, happy to try and do that. Till next time, hope y'all are out in your shop, working on some projects, making some chips of your own. Maybe you're on Fusion, drawing up your next project, your next design. Hey, we'll be here working on something in the Blades to Be shop, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care.